Okay, welcome. Welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I am Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode is a doubleheader episode, post-fight for the last UFC card and a pre-fight for the upcoming UFC 261 card. And yeah, I normally don't do a pre-fight this early on for upcoming event, but due to just being able to find time to shoot these episodes, I'll be doing it earlier than later, right? Yeah, let's get started. So pre-fight or post-fight for the last card, it was Whitaker versus Gastelum, and yeah, I just want to get this card out of the way because this was a dreadfully boring card. Too many decisions, 8 decisions out of 10 fights. And yeah, anyways, so to kick off this main card, we had in the lightweight division Luis Pena versus Alexander Munoz, and it was a split decision win for Luis Pena. I think the judges got this one wrong, but it was a close fight and it did go back and forth, but not the biggest robbery imaginable in UFC history. But yeah, there wasn't anything that for me was just wow, that's exciting. I'm on the edge of my seat with this one. It was just kind of whatever, but congrats Luis Pena. And I always remind people, it's not the fighters that make these decision calls. It's the judges. Blame it on the judges, not the fighters. Okay, so don't get angry at Luis Pena. They gave him a win. He takes it. What fighter wouldn't take a win? I mean, come on, think about that. Then in the catchweight, in a catchweight bout at 126.5, we had Tracy Cortez versus Justine Kish, and Tracy Cortez won this. Now this was a prelim, moved up to the main card. Tracy Cortez won split decision. I think she won 29-28 unanimous decision. I think she won 2 of the 3 rounds. But it was a very competitive fight, and both did show up to perform. Then in the middleweight division, we had Jacob Malkoun versus Abdul Razak Al Hassan, and this fight was just all about the takedowns. I think there was something like 8 takedowns or so, give or take, whatever. But yeah, there was quite a bit of takedowns, throughout the whole 3 rounds, and that's basically what won him the fight. 30-27 unanimous decision, and I guess that was impressive, right? And Abdul has great judo, and he was really trying to avoid being taken down, and he has heavy hands, and I think this was smart game plan for Jacob to land the takedowns to avoid the heavy shots. So good job for him. And then in the co-main event, which is, if I had to pick an exciting fight on this card, I think this should have got fight of the night. In the co-main event in the heavyweight division, we had Andre the Pitbull Arlovsky, former UFC heavyweight champ, going up against Chase Sherman, and Andre won. He definitely really showed up in that 3rd round. I think the leg kicks got to Sherman and wore him out and slowed him down, and I think that made it a winnable fight for Arlovsky. And now Arlovsky is 3-1 in his last 4 UFC fights, and so he is looking good. I think if he were to rematch, I believe it was Aspinall, I think he could win in a rematch. If he watches the tape again, he'll see that he made a couple of mistakes. And just basically got caught, that's all. With that submission. But yeah, this fight, he showed up and he came in with a pretty good game plan. When he got rocked, he got out of it as quickly as he could. He landed some shots to help him get out of it and really hang in there. And it worked. Chase Sherman was rocking Andre, I believe, in the 1st round, and then Andre came back in round 2 and 3. Good fight. Unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board for Andre the Pitbull Arlovsky. Good, nice win. Then in the main event in the middleweight division, we had Robert Whittaker versus former UFC champ versus Kelvin Gastelum, Ultimate Fighter winner. And this fight was just Whittaker teeing off on Gastelum for 5 rounds, and that was pretty much it. Yeah, it was 50-45 across the board. The 3rd round was the closest, but this fight, it was just whatever. Good win for Whittaker. I think this Kelvin, took on too much too soon, like I said on my pre-fight show. I think Kelvin needs to just fight some non-ranked opponents for his next couple fights, gather some wins and get his wits back. And I think if he can do that, he'll be just fine. If not, he may win. Who knows? We'll see. I always enjoy watching Kelvin, but yeah, it is what it is. I think Kelvin can bounce back though from this. And Whittaker, either title shot or #1 contender fight. Then, okay, now in the post-fight for UFC 261, Usman versus Masvidal, the main event. To kick off the main card in the light heavyweight division, we have Anthony Smith versus Jimmy Crute. I'm going to go Jimmy Crute here by knockout in the 2nd round. I think Jimmy Crute has heavy hands and killer record, and just this is going to be a big key win for Jimmy Crute, getting a win over Anthony Smith here. Then in the middleweight division, we have Riot Hall versus Chris Weidman. I'm going to pick Riot Hall. I'll say 1st round knockout. I think it's a winnable fight for Riot Hall. I think his takedown defense gone better over time, and I don't see Weidman really being a threat too much on the stand-up, and I think Riot Hall gets it done, 1st round knockout. Then in for the UFC women's flyweight title, we have Valentina Shevchenko versus Jessica Andrade. I'm going to go with Valentina Shevchenko here by unanimous decision. Then, actually, you know what? I'll say 1st round knockout. I know I'm going from decision to knockout, but I'll say 1st round knockout. I think she can stun her and finish her late in the 1st round. Then in the women's for the UFC women's strawweight title fight, we have Zhang Weili versus Rose Namajunas. Zhang defending the title. I'm going to go with Zhang Weili here, or Weili Zhang, whatever you want to call her, however you want to say her name. I'm going to pick her over Rose Namajunas by unanimous decision. I think this lady can go 5 rounds, and so can Rose, but Zhang can really bring it and has heavy shots and killer striking. I think this is a stand-up war that Zhang wins by decision. Barely. I could see her losing 1 or 2 rounds, but winning the rest. Then in the welterweight division, we have Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal for the UFC welterweight title, and I'm going to pick Kamaru Usman again in this fight. He won the fight by decision in the last fight. I think this one, I'll say like 4th or 5th round knockout. I'll say, yeah, 4th round knockout, maybe 5th, but I'll go with 4th round knockout on here over Jorge Masvidal. So I think Kamaru Usman defends the title, and that wraps up this whole feud with these two. And there you have it. There's my predictions, and stay tuned for my post-fight show as always. Until then, see ya.